Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Okay, let's take a look at what's happening in April. Hey, Virgo, let's start with Ceres, a planet that's near and dear to your heart, traveling through your own sign. And this is, I think, going to be pretty meaningful. So Ceres went retrograde in early February in Libra in your second house, triggering a financial rebalancing period, which has, at this point, because Ceres has retrograded back into Virgo, shifted into something like a financial reorganization period. And it might even feel a little bit personal, a little bit like it just has to do with things that you identify, things that you really value about yourself and your behavior. And you might feel like you really want to act on this financial reorganization while Ceres is retrograding through Virgo in your first house, which she's going to continue doing until early May. So if you're feeling the urge to get your finances in better shape, to pay attention to the details, to learn more about how to manage your money, or if you're wanting to increase your sense of self-worth, this is a really good transit for those things. And it is likely to put it right in your face, the ways that you may feel unworthy to earn, and the ways that you may feel like you just need to become a little bit more perfect, or maybe a lot more perfect, before you could, like, for example, ask for a raise. And so if you can really, really utilize this transit to grow and increase your sense of value that you bring to the world, then this can lead to the result of you asking for more, or maybe even just getting more on the job when Ceres, after she goes direct and moves back into Libra, re-enters your second house, which is going to happen sometime in May. So this could be a really valuable transit for you if you use it in the right way. The other thing I want to talk about right now is Juno, and here she is in your ninth house, which is just lovely. And the ninth house is a house of growth and expansion. It's a house of travel and journeys. It's a house of your philosophy and your worldview. Juno is a planet of relationship, of partnership. And this can signify a long-term relationship that you're in, such as a marriage, or a business partnership, which is also a long-term relationship, which really bears a strong resemblance to marriage. It's even contractual in its nature. And Juno can also signify a bestie that you've known for a really long time, who mirrors you to yourself in a really good way. So when Juno is in the ninth house, it's a really great time to go traveling with your partner, or to engage in expanding experiences together, to have adventures together. So if you want to get the people in your workplace, but most especially your partner, into one of those, like, outdoor adventure together weekends, where the whole team, does team building exercises by, like, going along zip lines or climbing, walls, like whatever it is that you want to do, this is a really good month for networking your people into those kind of group activities that can expand everyone involved, and also strengthen the ties amongst people on the team or in the pair. Hey, Julia. Oh, one more thing, which is that Juno is going to be in Taurus through the end of the month. She's going to move on into your 10th house entering Gemini on May 1st, and I'll talk about that when we get there. Hey, Julia, what's up with Mercury, Venus, and Mars for the Virgos of the world, but especially Mercury, right? Because Mercury rules Virgo.
Yes, it does. Well, this will be a little bit of a frustrating month for you personally, Virgo, because your ruling planet, Mercury, is going to go retrograde. Well, first off, it is direct. It starts the month direct in your 8th house. This is a house of research and investigation. So the first couple of days of the month, your mind might be preoccupied with getting down to the bottom of something, or maybe you're just more drawn to thinking about mysteries. Then on April 3rd, Mercury enters your 9th house. This is a travel house, and this is a travel planet. So your mind is really on faraway places. This is also a legal house too. So, you know, you might be thinking about legal matters or strategizing and planning them. But by April 21st, Mercury goes retrograde in this house. And this retrograde is going to be a little bit squirrely if you are involved in signing a contract. If you could put it off till the end of May, that would be for the best. And if you are traveling now, then definitely expect the unexpected in terms of your itinerary might have to be a little bit more loose and flexible because there could be delays along the way. Then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, she also begins in the 9th house. So a really nice time early on in the month, especially if you're in school. Venus can help you get along with teachers. It can help you just have more fun and pleasure from learning. If you are on a trip by early month, you could even have a holiday romance if you're single. But then by the 10th, Venus enters your 10th house. So really, really nice for your reputation. If you do anything in the public eye, because the 10th house is such a public house, you will be looking good, you will be charming, you will be well received. So if you have a public presentation at work, or if you do anything on social media, a really great time for that. And a good time for your job too, finding more harmony in your workplace and being a happy worker bee. Now, Mars is going to be in your 11th all month. Mars is a bit trickier than Venus for sure. Mars can bring frustration and conflict, but Mars is also a planet that can get a lot of stuff done too. It's a planet of drive and energy. So in your 11th house, this might be a time of flare-ups with friends. Maybe if you're in a group, a union, a club, a society, a recovery program, maybe you get a little frustrated by them. You know, maybe you don't feel like there's, you know, that there is no I in team. Well, that's kind of the motto of Mars in the 11th, because Mars definitely wants an I in team. With the 11th house representing your hopes, wishes, and dreams, which are your long-term goals, you could feel very, very driven by a long-term goal to kind of get ahead. And that's definitely the best use of this transit, to really focus your drive on achieving a long-term goal, or at least getting a bit closer to it. And then try to do something physically active with your friends. You know, try to go on a hike together, try to go play a game together, a physical game together. Then you can get out that Mars energy in a constructive way.
Absolutely. Hi, Jamie here. Before we continue, I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for watching this video. And if you're enjoying this content, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Our lowest tier starts at just $5 a month and gives you early access to these monthly horoscope readings. Your support helps keep this content free. The link can be found in the description box below. Thanks again, and let's get back to the video. So I want to tell you about this month's 2 moons, beginning with the full moon in Libra, which falls right here in your 2nd house. And the moon falls in Libra, and when the moon is full, the full moon brings emotions to a kind of a peak. Emotions, it's like the cup runneth over. There is so much feeling going on. And when the moon is in Libra, though, because Libra is an air sign, there's this desire to express one's feelings in a way that's nice and sweet and kind and diplomatic and friendly and supportive and helpful. And yet there is a quality to this moon that is so much more combative than that. And it really comes from these Aries planets that are placed here in your 8th house opposite to that moon. The Sun, Chiron, and Jupiter bring this, you know, forceful, driven, kind of strong-willed and even combative quality to this moon. And so the moon is kind of trying to wrestle those those rambunctious Aries planets into shape. Now we're calling this moon Make Every Action Wholesome, because Chiron here does want to create wholeness and healing, and often that can happen through the resurgence of a wound. So if in an intimate circumstance or an intimate relationship, you sustain some sort of a wound this month, Chiron in Aries here in your 8th house, the moon is going to have you want to react by retreating to your own physical space. This is the 2nd house, and just pulling back and finding your way to beauty, harmony, symmetry, groundedness, and then, you know, pushing back gently, lovingly, but just corralling all of that fierce energy over here in the 8th house. The second moon that I want to tell you about is arguably more significant because it is an eclipse. This one falls in Aries in your 8th house. And so the Aries energy is strong with this month for sure. And we're calling it volcanic actions tempered by sympathy. It's and the volcanic part has to do with it being in Aries and also square Pluto. It's a very intense moon. And the fact that it's an eclipse will really bring shadow material to the surface for everybody who experiences this one. And it is a total eclipse too, which intensifies things. So when I say shadow material, I'm talking Jungian language there, archetypal psychology. Shadow material is the stuff that lives within all of us that we just don't want to look at on an everyday basis. We'd rather keep that stuff behind us and let it remain unconscious. But when an eclipse happens, that stuff slips up into our everyday life. It resurges and sometimes it erupts. And when it's a solar eclipse, most particularly, it can erupt through our behavior. So with the moon and the sun together in this eclipse in your 8th house, watch out for your behavior around eclipse time, most especially in the realm of your intimate connections with others. So if you're feeling angry at your partner, don't let it erupt into violence on their side or your side or both. Be cautious about that. And also when it comes to investments, don't do anything too hasty or impulsive. You know, like if you like to manage your own investment portfolio and you do trading, be very cautious about what you do on this day. And we might even see some market fluctuations. You know, you might even be glad that you didn't act in haste when all is said and done. So, so this one is really intense, and it also, because it conjuncts the North Node right here near the Sun and Moon, there's likely to be repercussions devolving from this eclipse that can go into future years or even echo into future lifetimes. So this one's pretty significant, and if you want to know more about it, you can go to our website, pandoraastrology.com, and check out the monthly forecast page where there are videos about both of these 2 moons of the month there, where you can find out a lot more about them. Now, the last thing I want to tell you about is the seasonal change. As the month begins, the sun is in Aries, and a lot of planets are here in your 8th house, a very intense part of your chart: death and rebirth, transformation and metamorphosis, things that must be let go of, whether you'd like to or not. These are the preoccupations early in the month. And then as the month goes on, planets gradually migrate on over to and fill out the 9th house. And the real day when that happens the most strongly is here on the 20th, when the sun leaves Aries, moves on into Taurus, and enters into your 9th house along with the moon. So then the emphasis shifts from, you know, those mysterious, hidden, dark places in life to the more bright, you know, light at the end of the tunnel spaces of life, which is the 9th house. The 9th house being a house of growth and expansion, travel, opportunity, and an adventure. And so as the sun moves into this house, you want to bring the sunlight of your high quality attention into this new arena where the sun is going to be for about 30 days. And you want to really pay attention to things like, are you growing or are you stagnating? How could you be growing instead of stagnating? Also, do you like to travel? Have you been traveling enough? Maybe it's time to plan some trips or even just make a spontaneous trip. I know, Virgo, you're probably not much of a spontaneous day tripper. You do have Taurus here in the 9th house, but I did have to say it. And then you also might want to take a look at your philosophy of life, how you think about the big picture of life, your ethical and moral system. And this is a really good month for putting some high quality attention on that, so that at the end of the month, you can come away feeling expanded and like, however slowly or gradually, like you have been through a growth process and you're a bigger person.
If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
We make these horoscopes for you for free. And if you appreciate it, supporting us on Patreon is the best way to show it. Share our horoscopes with your friends too. Have a beautiful April. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.